Hello, 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 beautiful people. How are you today? Today is another episode of Relax and Raunchy Relationship Podcast with me, Ingrid Galloway, and I am accompanied by Misty Henkel. She's an awesome guest. She's an international sales trainer, which means that she runs online sales classes for people all over the world. In 2021, I love this because this is very unique to Misty, right? So in 2021, she priced all of her sales training at the price of the year. So $20.21 for 2021. And next year, it'll be $20.22 for 2022. With her plan being to make sales training and sales improvement easy and affordable to everyone, particularly for those starting in business, network marketers, authors, others who might not necessarily sell a product at a high price. So Misty says, everyone should be able to access the knowledge on how to bring their own money whenever they want to. So I understand that Misty tried to remove the, price sales point out of the equation. So you can't argue with the, oh, how much is it? Oh, it's too expensive. I think I know why she is doing this. So welcome, Misty.
Hello, Ingrid. How are you? So I'm going to do a little intro to you because maybe not everybody knows who you are. So I've known Ingrid for a while, but Ingrid Galloway is the founder, relationship coach, and chief relaxation officer of Kahyangan, which means heaven. So she's been a relationship coach for 12 years and a spa therapist for 22. She practices from Kahyangan in Sydney and from clients' homes, offices, and hotel rooms, online, and also from retreat locations. Her work has always focused on stress relaxation and relationships, and always is she ready to look after the stressed people and the loving and not so loving couples that are around us. She does one-to-one coaching sessions, group online couples massage lessons, and retreats.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Now, people, just quickly to explain why I do this podcast is because during lockdown 2020, right, I was feeling a bit meh. So I thought, how can I support other business owners, including myself, small business owner, in our own endeavors, during lockdown period? So I started this, and I need to have fun with someone else. So that's why I start approaching some people to do podcasts with me. So here we are. Now, first question, Misty, what is your why? Why you do what you do?
Why do I do what I do? Okay, so why do I teach sales and why do I make it really affordable? I think it's important that everybody has the knowledge on how to bring in their own money. I have loved money from the moment I met it when I was like tiny. I reckon I was less than 5. And I've just always loved those shiny coins, right? And then as I got older, I discovered that it buys amazing things like chocolate and anything else that you might like. So
We know how much you love chocolate.
oh my God, a block a day. So yeah. So from there, I think I started knitting when I was 5, and I used to make babies' clothes. I'd send them up to my great grandmother in Burke, so out in the country, and she would sell them, and then she'd send me back the money. So that was about between 5 and 8. I started earning money that way, and I thought that was great. Then I went out and I got jobs, and just knowing how to have money. It wasn't until I was 18. I became a barmaid at 18, and because for a number of reasons. One of them was to learn how to speak to people because I was a quiet person. I've learned that since then. But I used to be very quiet. So I was learning how to say, hi, how you going? So talk to people. But the other side of it was I loved the idea because you'd see it in movies where people had tips when they worked in pubs and restaurants and things. So I thought, oh, so not only can I earn money, I can actually be in charge of earning more money if I want to. So I started working as a barmaid, and then I discovered sales jobs. Same sort of thing though. So while we don't really do tips here in Australia, not like they do in America or Canada, but as a salesman, you would get paid to work, and you would also get paid commission if you sold above and beyond that which was expected of you as well. And I thought it's so cool to be in charge of extra cash. And so from there, I would read all different sales books. So growing up, I didn't have access to sales training like what's available now on the internet. I would ask say my bar manager, or I would ask when I went into sales companies like furniture and computers, I would ask for sales courses. And this is going back let's say the turn of the century, so 20 years ago, it wasn't easily accessible on the internet. I couldn't find it. They didn't know where to get it from either. So I had to find books and learn how to do it all myself. And then I would practice it inside whatever job I had. I would get other people to test it out. And so I got this real knack for getting people to improve their sales. But my overall thing is, I think everybody should have the knowledge. COVID has been hard. And for a lot of people, they lost their jobs. They lost their ability to earn money the way that they used to. And they were subject to whatever the government was giving out or able to help out with. But if you know how to earn your own money, or know, more importantly, how to bring in customers so that you can sell something, now you have the ability to do what you want when you like, moving forward. Once you've got the knowledge, you can just kind of put it into play. So that's why I do it. I just want everyone to have the knowledge. It's kind of cool.
Awesome. Knowledge is king, isn't it?
Yeah, knowledge is king. So when you've got it, you can choose to use it. If you don't have it, well, you got no choice.
Exactly.
So get the knowledge, choose to use it later if you want to.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
No problem. So what about you, Ingrid? What's your why for what you do with Kahyangan?
So I came to Australia from Indonesia. That's why the name of the business is Kahyangan, which came from ancient Javanese language. So I came by the age of 21 to get married to my first husband. Unfortunately, it was an abusive relationship. So after 10 years, I left. And during my self-healing journey, I went to a couple of therapists, went to several self-development seminars to change my mindset, my paradigm, and help myself, because I suffer from depression, anxiety, all the juicy stuff, from a broken relationship, to be expected. And now I know that I am a coach, not a counselor. So I went back to college as well to study counseling and life coaching. And straight away I knew that I would be a coach, not a counselor, and my niche would be in relationship, because I am compassionate and passionate to help others in similar sort of predicament. And if I can do it, I have hit my rock bottoms. I'm sure other people can do it as well, with support, that is. And as you said, knowledge is king. So yeah, just, I don't talk too much, but I give them some tips and they can, rediscover who they are, because that's what I lost. During my marriage, I lost who I was. But then, in self-healing journey, so I rediscover who Ingrid is. And my second husband now, he very much appreciate who I am, don't want to change me, maybe want me to do more exercise. That's the only thing.
They all, they all do. But if you take 5 minutes away from attention on them, it's like, I don't know that I want that to happen either. They don't necessarily know what they're after either.
That's okay. He means well. He means well. Misty, I'm always curious about tips from my guests, because I know that can enrich, add value to my tribe. 3 tips to improve your sales effectively, because you are the networking and sales queen.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my top 3 tips. One is get known for that thing that you do, right? So you got to most people think sales comes from selling the most to the person who walks in the door, right? But it's not. It's getting someone to walk in your door in the first place. I learned this when I was a barmaid. I've lived out in the country for 3 years. I'd go all day from 10 until 5 at night. So 10 in the morning till 5 o'clock at night, no one would come in. 5 o'clock at night, I would have all the, we call them members, but the regulars would come in, they drink to whenever, and then they would go home. And the next day I'd say to them, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow night, right? It's only years later that I discovered the only difference between me being busy in the morning and not being busy in the morning was I told them, come back tomorrow night. I'll see you tomorrow night. If I had said, hey, come in, we're open for lunch, come in for lunch and come back for a drink later, I probably actually would have got more in. So it turns out it's not, you don't earn more from selling to the person who walked in the room. It's getting them to come in, and how you get them to come in is mostly for all of us. It's all right at a pub, just open the doors, right? And tell them to come in. But for everybody else, it's actually getting known for what it is that you do. Even at the pub, if they knew that I was open at lunch, they would have come in. They didn't know that the pub was open at lunch, so they didn't know to come in because it was sort of not that many people were around. Right. So get known for that thing that you do. Known means like an elevator pitch. If you're a network marketer, your company name is one of your biggest sales tools that you can use. What's your favorite product? Sell your favorite product. Better to sell one thing to thousands of customers than thousands of things to one customer, because they get burnt out and then they wander off and you've got to start all over again. So get heaps of customers that you sell one main thing to. Then if you have a second thing, you can sell a second thing. So it's really about, and what is it that you help them with? So I help with sales training. I sell it in a book, I sell it as group classes, I sell it as personal coaching sessions, but ultimately I sell one thing, sales training. That's it. And as a result, I'm now known as a sales trainer. Now, if you need a sales trainer, you can go Googling it, or you can go, oh, you just get the girl that we keep hearing does it. Maybe we just get her. So it's easy for people to come to you. So get known for that thing that you sell. Number two is be able to deliver your price without discounting and without sounding anxious. This is the number one key to sales, right? So getting asked, how much does it cost? I'll give you an example. Ingrid, you do online couples massage lessons. How much does that cost?
$199.
See how she did it? $199. She said, if she said, oh, well, you see, that is what stops the sales from going through. So products and services will sell themselves, and we, the salesmen, break it based on how we say something. That question, how much does it cost, is a buying question. A customer won't ask it if they're not interested in collecting the information so that they can maybe buy it in the future or pass the information to someone else. So we, as salesmen, live ultimately for that one question. Problem is that when it's us, we get so anxious based off our own personal thoughts on money, because let's face it, we all wish we had more than we have. We all can get it. It takes a while to get. We've spent it on the wrong stuff. So we've created our own drama around our money. So as a result, when someone says, how much is it? We become dramatic. But the customer asks for one thing, how much is it? And all they need you to do is deliver it. $199 was Ingrid's answer. This is no different to milk, which, by the way, has gone up to $3.90 from $3.59. I know, I'm sorry.
You ranted about this the other day.
Oh my God, I'm still trying to get over it going up from $3.30. I don't know how many years ago. But anyhow, milk sits like this. It sits in the fridge at the supermarket and it puts its price there. And now it leaves it up to everybody who's walking past to decide. That's the milk, that's the size, that's the price. Do I want it or not? They deliver the price. They never discount. It is never discounted. The price is just there and the customer can make a decision. And that is ultimately how you need to deliver the price to the customer. Don't think about what you think that they're asking for. Oh my God, they're not going to like the answer. They think they want a discount. If they say, how much is it? Give them the fact, what the price is. $199 was Ingrid's answer as a fact. And then be silent so that the customer can decide about that answer. And step number 3 is be silent. You are not allowed to speak now before the customer. So when they ask how much is it and you deliver your price, it doesn't matter how long the customer takes to say something, you are not allowed to speak again. And this becomes so good because the longer you remain silent, the more the customer gets to think. What happens is salesmen get anxious. Oh my God, I don't think that they like it. Here, let me explain the price to you. See what you get for the $199. And the customer's thinking, that's neat. Which card am I going to use? Should I just get one lesson? I wonder if my sister would like this. Maybe I get it both for my 2 sisters for Christmas. This would be a cool Christmas present. I wonder who else I could suggest it to. See how the customer's tracking things. Okay, so Simon did the banking yesterday. He bought some stuff. I wonder which card is going to work. So the customer's thinking about which card they're going to use, how many they're going to buy. When the salesman gets anxious because the silence has gone on for too long and the salesman starts talking, oh, you see, let me explain why the price is the price, right, and why it is. Now you're distracting the customer from what they're actually planning on doing. And the moment you distract them, when they get all confused and they're going, I'm just trying, oh my God, I wish I'd be quiet. I just want to know, thank you very much for that information. That's great. I'll get back to you. And they walk away. So when you distract them for too long and you make it all too hard, they walk away. And as a result, the salesman starts to say these things. They didn't like the price. They didn't have the money. They didn't understand. They don't value themselves. They don't value their partner. They don't know. That is not why it all happened. It's because the salesman talked too much, confused the customer, and the customer needed a bit of peace and quiet, so they wandered off.
So
So those
there
are
you
my
go,
three tips.
people.
Get known for that thing that you do, you
Yes.
sell. So get known for that thing that you sell, deliver the price as a fact without discounting, without sounding anxious, and be silent so that the customer can think. Those are my
Yes.
tips.
There is a saying, silence is golden. So apply that.
Golden. Ingrid was saying, knowledge is king. Actually, silence is king. Let's make silence queen. Silence is queen. Just stick with that. So, Ingrid, tell me, have you got 3 tips about relationships you can tell us all about?
I certainly do. Lately, I've been presenting in various groups about planning. So, if I can twist it for relationship, I will say these 3 things about planning, right? Number 1, what is your big dream and how you bridge the gap between now and then? So my big dream is I would like to have a couples retreat. Broken-hearted singles can come there, have day spa treatments because it will have a day spa and family home in one, so I can live in it with my family. That's a few years down the track. That requires a lot of money, a lot of investment. I don't have it right now. So what are the bridge to what are the stepping stones to bridge the gap between the now and then? Now we just got into a new house. We just accumulate a mortgage, our first mortgage together with me and my second husband. And what we agreed upon is we would like to buy 2 different lands and build 2 tiny homes and Airbnb them. So that can be like a business that we both agreed upon, common dream and goals, so then we can work together as a team. So what is yours? Okay. So number 2, what can you do next year? So the big dream may be a couple of years time. So what can you do next year to bring you closer to each other? I recommend couples retreat. So for example, 5 days away from the kids and other craziness in your life. I know that your life is crazy busy, 5 days away. You deserve it because, as parents especially, we don't get an annual leave. We don't get a sick leave. We're parents. We work all the time for the kids, right? So I recommend be selfish for once. You deserve it. Okay, so one time, in fact, 2018, so a year before lockdown, 2018, Andy and I went together to Bali for a Tantra retreat, and I hired my mom, flew her from Jakarta to Bali in a separate sort of villa, a few suburbs away from the villa that we went to look after our 2 kids. Unfortunately, those 2 kids became sick, went to the hospital and this and that, puking, etc. My mom got overwhelmed and then she gave up halfway. It was like, okay, I'm overwhelmed. I can't deal with these 2 kids. I don't speak English. Here are your kids. I'm going home. So then we had to take them in, but then we are committed. Okay, we're already here in Bali. We are committed to fix our relationship together. Let's just go through with it, deal with the kids, and still keep going with the retreat. And the relationship coaches and the other people is like, oh my God, like kudos to you to do this. So you deserve this. Step away from all the craziness for once a year. You deserve it. And number 3, what can you do this year to bring you closer to each other? I reckon group online couples massage lesson will be great. A date night with a difference. Learn how to touch each other. I'll be there live in front of you. You can ask questions, and also regular check-ins. I love to pick cards, random cards every day. And what I pick today is, for example, for a regular check-in session, I use these cards, all right? So the first one, am I surrendering my worries to the universe? So you can ask each other, what are your worries? Am I surrendering my worries to the universe? Check in with each other. Number 2, what matters most to me right now? All right, so you have your dream goal. You can work together as a team, but as an individual, what matters to you? I would like to know my partner, and I would like my partner to know too what matters to me. And then this one said, you can put energy into things that matter to you. So we would like to allow each other to actually do what matters to us and them, right? So as an individual, we feel valued, we feel acknowledged, we're not diluted as a parent, for example, and you lose your sense of self. So as a couple, you have this thing to do together, but as an individual, you are being respected, appreciated as who you are. So those are my 3 tips.
I like them. Look, note to self, don't have the kids a few suburbs over. Like, really go very far away. Right? If mom was still in Australia, she, overwhelmed or not, she's going to have to deal with it. She had kids to start with. She just have to learn. So yeah, don't have them like a suburb or 2 over.
All right, people. Now, very good point. So we come to the fun part of the podcast. Not that we haven't been having fun so far. Misty's true and false. I got these 2 statements from her. Number 1, Misty plans on buying a house with cash delivered in a suitcase. Oh, fancy. Rich one. Number 2, using her sales skills, Misty gets her boys to vacuum the house without complaining. I reckon Misty liked to whip up her boys, and I reckon number 2 would be true. Is that
no? No, I can no. I don't even bother with sales skills on them anymore. I yell at them, they complain. It's just all awful. No, I'd like to buy a house with cash. I would like to buy a house with cash. I have a plan. So when when I buy a house, get a mortgage and everything else, but I plan on saving up enough money in the bank account that I go into one bank. I tell them a day in advance, and I go, okay, so I would like to withdraw, let's say, $500,000 from my bank account. I'm going to come in with a big suitcase, and I'm going to sit there and watch you count it and put it in the suitcase because I want to pay off my house, right? And they'll go, we can just transfer. No, I want the cash, and I want it in a suitcase, and then I'm going to zip it up, and I'm just going to wheel it to the next bank. Yes. And then I'm going to go in there and say, I want to pay off my house with a big suitcase of cash. And then I'll sit there for the rest of the day while they count it all out. And then I can say, I bought a house with cash in like an unmarked suitcase. And I say it to Simon. He says, it's kind of cool, but it's kind of scary. And he said, and what if someone stole that from, I said, what are the chances of you wheeling a suitcase out of a bank and then into, like, towards another bank, and someone just running at you, stealing your suitcase and running off? I mean, no one really suspects someone wheeling a suitcase is going to be carrying, $500,000 in cash, but I just like the idea. I just think it's very cool. So that's
very cool. Guess what? You can film that, and you can
I know, right?
You can use it as another product. Not only that Misty sells books, Misty sells movies as well.
She sells a $20.21 product. And she bought a house with cash for $500,000 in unmarked bills in a suitcase. Like, how cool is that?
Very cool. Yes. Next movie will come soon in a theater near you.
No, somebody just had me sign up to their memoir, like Facebook memoir thing, I'm writing memoirs. And they said, what are you looking to get out of this? I've gone, oh no, I think I still need a few more years before I head into that memoir, but that'll be it, right? Yeah. I buy a house with cash starting at $20.21. And then you just stock it up in the suitcase and just wheel that off to the bank. Awesome. All right, Ingrid. So you have a true and false. Yeah. So question number 1 is, Ingrid dreamt that Misty paid for her house cleaning for a year. Mm-hmm. Meaning I paid for Ingrid's house cleaning for 1 year. Or question 2 is, Ingrid dreamt that Misty helped her do her chores around the house.
So which one?
So I've got to work out which one is true and which one's false. You know what? It's not so much as what do I think is true and false, but so much as where do I think that I sit on this and which one would I like to be true? I would like to pay for your housekeeping for a year, but there's no way in the world you could possibly have dreamt that I'd do it myself. That I'm going to come over and help. Although, I mean, having Glenn around, for anyone who knows Glenn Kirkwood from that cleaning crew, I have to say, from him being in Southcross and being at networking with him and hearing just different cleaning stories, I have to say, based off that, I do walk around the house more going, I'm a little curious about some of this cleaning stuff, but not enough to do the extra work. Like I need the basics, not to do the extra work. But it's like, that was a cool tip that we got. That was really cool. But yeah, I think I'd not be so flashy. I'm good at vacuuming. I can vacuum, and I'm really good with spraying white in the kitchen with gloves.
Right. So, which one do you think that is true? I dreamt you pay
I'm
for
going to
it,
go
or
with
you
one.
do it.
Number one is that
Number
I pay
one.
for your house for a
You
year.
would be incorrect.
Oh, then I was over and we were cleaning together. Yes. That's actually quite cool.
One time before our one-on-one coaching session, I was so stressed, so overwhelmed, and I was so tired because we have to, do school drop-off, school pickup around about 5 to 6 hours a day. So the house is messy, dirty. We don't have a cleaner at the moment. And I was just overwhelmed. So in my sleeping time, I don't know why I dreamt of Misty.
If only Misty would come over and help me clean. I don't know what you were thinking.
And she was so kind. She listened to my struggles, and she was so kind. She started picking up things and start cleaning for me. It was like,
I'd be really good
great dream.
You know what? I'd actually be really good at that, Ingrid. I'd just get right into that. As long as I can talk the entire time, I'd be right into that. And I'm really cool with tears.
Yeah.
So, you could cry your heart out the whole time and I'll go, that's cool. You just keep crying while we get this done, right? So,
oh my gosh. Yeah, that's what happened. That's my dream. I don't know why you were in my dream, but there you go. So, all right, people. The last question. Misty, what do you do to either relax or add raunchiness into your relationship?
Oh, funny you talk about cleaning, right? And I said about vacuuming, the boys vacuuming, and you're saying about cleaning, me cleaning. Okay, so a while ago, a number of years ago, Simon, this is my husband, and his brother got into this idea that women found it very unattractive for men to do housework around the house, and that they shouldn't do it. Because we didn't think it was masculine, and then we would want to, basically have sex with them afterwards. And anyhow, the more I thought about it, the more I think about it, is like, no, I find that very attractive. It's like, actually, Simon, you should do more housework.
Yeah.
Because, to be honest, I mean, if you did all the housework and I kind of got to just sit and watch, I'd probably just rip my clothes off and we could just go. So
it's a turn on, right?
It's quite the turn on. Whatever it was that they were reading, clearly they were trying to get out of some sort of housework, clearly. And they were hoping that would just feed the information in that women don't actually like men that do housework. But the more he said it, the more I'm going, I find it very unattractive, you sitting there while I'm doing it all.
I know. And just watch TV over and over again.
Food, and everybody's yelling at me. So I find that very unattractive, just you guys sitting around. And so actually suggesting that Simon do some extra housework, watching Simon vacuum the house is kind of
especially when he vacuum half naked or naked. There you go.
It's completely fine. Don't worry, Simon. You can do it in whatever you like. I'll take my clothes off.
So there you go, beautiful people. We come to the end of the podcast. I hope you've been having fun with us and getting, a few tips about selling, about relationship, all the juicy stuff. And next week, we will definitely have another guest coming to share their expertise and fun stories, just like this one. So people, if you would like to, Misty, if people would like to connect with you and ask more questions, how can they approach you?
Okay, great. So one is you can Google me. I do not have a website at all, but Google knows who I am. I'm like a famous person. So I like to say I'm like the Tom Cruise of sales. If you Google Misty Henkel, I'll actually show up. A whole bunch of stuff. And I have a Google My Business page. So all contact details are sitting there. Otherwise, Facebook is an easy one. You can find me on Facebook or LinkedIn. Misty Henkel, spelled MistyHenkel. And I've got a crown. So like, I'm the only Misty Henkel on the planet, and I'm wearing a crown. So I'm pretty easy to find. If you do say go to Messenger or LinkedIn or something, just write, I heard you on Ingrid's podcast. That makes it easy. Then at least I know where we're from. Same if you go into the Google My Business page and find my contact details there. You could just say that. But I have a Gmail address, mistyhenkel@gmail.com. I'm pretty simple to find.
Awesome, that's great. And people, if you want to chat more about relationship, ask a few questions. If you have any issues or whatever, you can have a free chat with me. Go to my website, www.kahyangan.com.au. Well, the spelling, as you can see behind me, because I know the spelling can be a bit tricky for some people. So there you go. You can spell it right. So, beautiful people, I hope you enjoy our podcast together today. Thank you so much, Misty, for coming to this room, and keep well and lots of love.
Thank you.